The good news of Jesus as written in Matthew. Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priests and said unto them, What will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you? And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. And from that time he sought opportunity to betray him.
From then on, he began looking for a good opportunity to betray Jesus.
KJV.
NASB.
Now, the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying unto him,
Where do you want us to prepare for you to eat the Passover?
And he said, Go into the city to such a man,
and say to him,
The Master saith, My time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. And the disciples did,
as Jesus had directed them.
Appointed them, and they made ready,
prepared
the Passover. When it grew evening, dark, he reclined at table with the 12. And while they were eating, he said, The truth is, one of you is about to betray me. They were greatly distressed and started asking him,
Each one asked in turn,
Surely it is not I,
Lord?
teacher.
NLT.
NIV. Jesus replied,
He replied,
The one who has dipped his hand into the dish,
one of you who has just eaten from this bowl will betray me. The Son of Man goes as it is written of him. Say he will.
But woe to that one by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been better for that one not to have been born. Judas, who betrayed him, said.
Judas the traitor spoke up. G&T.
NRSV. I'm not the one, am I, Rabbi? Yeshua said to him,
Yeshua.
You've said it yourself.
Jesus said, Don't play games with me, Judas. MSG.
TLV.
Jesus took a roll, blessed it, broke it, and gave it to them all. He said, Take it, eat it. This is my body. Do this, say this, whenever you want me. Then he snagged a cup. Instead of drinking it down, he gave thanks for it. Who poured it, passed it around. This wine is my blood, and it's all for you. Drink it up, brothers. This covenant's new. Gonna be for all. That's total forgiveness. Those sins are gone. And the fact is, the truth is, no fruit of this vine until it's time, till I get it anew. That'll be with you. Hey, what's with the faces? What looks so glum? We'll all be together in God's kingdom.
KJV, NIV, NRSV, TLV.
NASB, NLT, G&T, MSG.
No MSG.
No MSG?
No MSG.
Oh, me.
Me?
KJV, NLT, me. No. Then they sang a hymn and took a walk, and before you know it, Jesus started to talk. Tonight's the night you'll all be falling away, 'cause here's what the scriptures have to say. The shepherd gets struck and the sheep will scatter, but when I get raised up, all that'll matter is I'll be there in Galilee. Pete, you interrupted me.
It won't be me, one of the falling flock.
And then I say, verily, there'll be this crowing cock. And before that, in seconds flat, your faith will fly, and you'll deny me 3 times with no rhymes. It's gonna happen just that way. And still you're saying,
no way, Jose.
I know the rest of you will be saying the same, so let's get out of here. Head on to Gethsemane.
Gethsemane.
Oh. I know you'll be agreeing here, all seriously, so let's get out of here onto Gethsemane. Come on. Okay. He thought this spot was neat. Disciples have a seat. He's got to go retreat. He took James and John and Chatty Pete.
Then the teacher started feeling super sorrow, guessing what was happening tomorrow. So he told his friends he was filled with grief, and if they stayed and watched, it'd be a massive relief. Then he stepped away, began to pray, fell on his face so he could say,
oh God, it's me. I'm scared to be drinking from this cup, so can it pass by me? I mean, I know I might have to be the one, and it is your will, not mine, be done.
Then he went back to his peeps, and he saw them asleep, so he called them out. Then he went about to pray again and say again,
oh God, it's me. If it has to be, I'll do it willingly. Just don't abandon me.
Once again he went back, and their bodies were slack, so he left again, bereft again. A third time he prayed, a third time he stayed, a third time returned, a third time he learned that his closest friends could not keep awake. But now it was too late, and so he spake.
The hour's at hand, for the Son of Man will be seized this night, even though it ain't right. See, here they come. I recognize that one.
So Judas approached, leading a... leading a crowd, and he said to them,
and this was not out loud,
the one I kiss is the one to hold, and do it quick. He can be bold.
So Judas went to Jesus with a big shalom.
And Jesus saw in Judas that his faith was gone.
The crowd gathered round and took Jesus down.
But his friends were having none of that. In seconds flat, a sword was drawn. Revenge was on.
But then Jesus said, hey, whoa, calm down. Everybody back off. Nothing will be solved by cutting this guy's ear off. Violence doesn't work, and it's not my way. You live by that sword, you're gonna die that way. Besides, how easy would it be? Don't even need a reason for God to call down his 12 angel legions. Scripture is clear how it goes from here. Except that thing with the ear, fulfillment is near. And you all surrounding me, armed to the teeth. I used to be your teacher, now you treat me as a thief. But hey, I know the prophets weren't clueless, so let's do this.
And just as he said, disciples all fled.
And they took him to Caiaphas.
Of the priests was the highest.
Peter followed behind, trying to reconcile his mind.
And the scholars and the elders, glad they hadn't missed this, heard the words of anyone who bare false witness.
None held up, but they wouldn't give up. And so 2 stepped up, and without even a tremble,
he said he could destroy God's temple. And in just 3 days, they said he would rebuild it.
This made Caiaphas ponder for a minute.
He demanded a response, but Jesus gave none.
Then said, tell us at once, are you really God's son?
You've said it yourself, so I hope you all can handle when I'll be coming back, per the book of Daniel. On the right hand of powers where the chosen one will sit, riding clouds of heaven will be the final bit.
Then Caiaphas tore his clothes, and everyone froze.
He shouted, blasphemy!
Let's be the last to see this man alive.
The Sanhedrin cried.
And they spit in his face, and they struck him hard. Then they really started going too far.
Hey, you're a prophet. Why don't you stop it? At the very least, Tell us who is doing all of this to you.
While all of that was going on, Pete was barely hanging on.
Some people started asking, are you with the Nazarene?
And Pete replied, I don't know what you mean.
Another confirmed, again Peter denied. A third affirmed, a third time he lied.
Then just as dawn began to break, Peter heard the rooster, the one of which Jesus spake. As Peter hoped for expiation,
Jesus bore his condemnation. Time it was for Pilate's turn.
Just as Judas felt the burn of conscience, he didn't want this. So he tried to give the money back, every last cent. Thought he could be free, but the blood of the innocent can't be washed. And so he tossed.
Then Judas went away and...
The priest then took the money, bought the potter's field, a cemetery for strangers as Jeremiah had revealed.
Jesus stood before Pilate, who was not amused. He questioned him directly. Are you?
You say that I am, and that's all that he said.
Even though the priests and people clearly wanted him dead.
It was festival time, so it was right in line to let one prisoner go, but the crowd said so.
We know the prisoner whose freedom you should grant us.
Pilate's really hoping that they wouldn't pick
Barabbas!
Now Pilate was scared he might fumble, being aware the crowd was starting to... See, Pilate was remembering his wife's message.
Her dream about Jesus was more than a presage. Have nothing to do with this innocent man.
So Pilate thought he'd better start. Pilate now released himself of all responsibility.
The crowd gave up on any final sense of their civility.
They shouted and cried, "Let Jesus be!"
A band of soldiers took him off to the praetorium. Ha! Simon the Cyrenian.
Robbers.
Golgotha. Save yourself, why don't you?
Come on down off that cross if you are the Son of God.
He trusts in God. Let God rescue him.
This is the King of Israel.
He cried, my God, why have you forsaken me?"
Is he calling for Elijah?
Let Elijah rescue him.
Tombs were opened.
And saints appeared in the holy city.
After the resurrection, and there was a centurion.
He was scared, saying,
Clearly, this was God's own.
And there were women looking on from a distance.
The two Marys.
And then Joseph came.
Of Arimathea.
He got Pilate to give him the body.
And they wrapped it in a clean linen.
And laid him out in a new tomb.
And the two Marys wouldn't leave.
But then Pilate and the priests were afraid the rumors would be true.
That he might rise again in 3 days.
So they
The Gospel of the Savior.